these organizations have been. My point is that when you keep doing it, not only are you rendering your own code of conduct useless, not only are you trying to take away the value of that code of conduct, the code of conduct that people like. I like the code of conduct. I'm happy that it's there. I teach at the University of Ghana. The University of Ghana has a code of conduct. Because see, public officials, sometimes that's what happens. When you have power, the way you behave is different. It's like a man. If you are broke, you are humble, you are gentle, you are nice, right? Oh, you are good. No, you are broke, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Small money comes into your pocket now, then that's the day you will bath. That's the day you wear your nice shirt and nice shoes. And now you go to town to chill. That is when you see your real value. When a man is broke, he's the best. He's gentle, he's honest, he's God-fearing, hallelujah, amen, Hail Mary. The day money enters his pocket is the day he shows that he's a burger, he's in town. So politicians are similar. Now they have power. Apart from power, now they have money in their pocket. Now they drive in V8s. Now they have bodyguards. Now they have drivers. This is the time that you need to temper down. You have to temper. The code of temper, the code of conduct was supposed to bring down their worst vices and eschew their virtues. So far, we are missing that.
Very well. Elvis, let me come to you on this matter, and then we're still looking at the optics of it, and the argument some make that pardoning Sammy Gyamfi will set a bad precedent. But then also, if you look at the avenues available to the president in the code of conduct, demanding an apology is one. The gentleman willingly and freely offered an apology publicly. So should this suffice?
Okay, thank you, Nana. Let me read this. What is legal may keep one out of prison, but it is what is ethical that keeps public trust alive. I want you to keep the word public trust alive. In this light, the debate is not about whether Sammy Gyamfi should be prosecuted. No. It is whether he should be held to ethical standard his own party and he himself have championed for others. Okay? When ethics are enforced only when convenient or dismissed entirely unless tied to a legal breach, then the moral spine of a government collapses.
Where are you reading this from?
I don't need, I just
Classified.
I read this because, see, I want the public to understand that when we talk about the issue of Sammy Gyamfi and the rest, I think Monday you asked a question whether people are saying he should be sacked. And I said, oh, if the president should sack him, this will be the consequences. If the president did not, and then the social media buzz was as if I'm the one calling for his head and all attacks. But see, we are talking about issue of ethics here. And that's why I read what I read. In the frame of ethics, it is not about what law did the person breach. The moment you reduce it to that, you are losing it. And that's why I said we should take note of the word public trust. Public trust. And the spine of a government. So you see, you may be using legalities to say the person has done anything, has not done anything wrong. But then you risk losing the public trust and the spine of a government may collapse. I will sound a word of caution to President Mahama that with what has happened in the Sammy Gyamfi issue, it clearly brings to the fore the issue of ethical codes that are not binding by law, and then the discretion of what punishment should be meted out is just in the hands of the president. What happens in this case is that because it is a code of conduct that is not legally binding, and whatever punishment that we meted out is the discretion of the president, whichever way the president exercises that discretion, the possibility that a section of the public will disagree with him as to what he has done is high. And if it continues, because this is just the first one, that's what I'm saying, that there are useful lessons here. If this should continue and appointees begin to do things that the public complains about, that they think that it breaches the code of conduct, and then the president, through his discretion, decides to issue out certain punishment. If it grows and the growing concern among the public is that the kind of punishment the president is issuing to these people, they think that it's not commensurate with what they think the people have done. What that will lead to is the loss of trust in the government. And that is where the collapse of governance comes in. And that is where the party is likely to pay for it in the next election. I believe that this punishment that has been given, there are even die-hard NDC people now who will disagree, who may think that the president has been lenient with Sami Gyamfi. They have their own views why they think so. So when you leave the punishment to discretion, you also leave room for people to also conclude or come up with arguments that they disagree with whatever punishment you are meting out. And for that reason, they are likely to accuse you of favoritism or any other thing. So I think that the president has shown the commitment to making appointees behave in a certain way. But I think if we leave it in the realm of a code of conduct that is not enforceable because it's a policy by a government, if the president is not careful and his appointees continue to misbehave, maybe after Sami Gyamfi, maybe a year, you have about 5 or 6 cases that would generate the kind of public uproar that was generated around Sami Gyamfi's issue. And then the action the president will take also becomes another source of controversy. Then the government will suffer the risk of losing public trust in the minds of several people who may be accusing the president of wrongly or discretionary power that they think that they disagree with. It's the president's discretion. So whatever punishment he issues out, that is what he feels should be done. But the truth of the matter is that the public also have their own expectations of what they think should have been done. And therefore, if any decision the president takes, a lot of members of the public believes that the president has been lenient to somebody, then they will begin to form opinions about how the president is doing his work. So for me, the question I was sent to President Mahama this morning is that what he has done shows that he is committed to make sure his appointees behave. I'll urge him that instead of this policy, which is not binding by law, the conduct of public officers bill has been sitting in the Attorney General's department. I'll advise the president that to deal with whatever credibility deficits that will affect him if these things should continue for a longer time, the best thing I would suggest to him is that you get Attorney General to work, get a look at that bill again, and they should send it to Parliament to be passed. The benefit of that is that once that bill gets passed, it becomes law. In that bill, it will be spelled out that if you do A, your punishment will be this. If you do B, the punishment will be that. And then when people do things like that and they have to be punished, it's no longer the discretion of the president. So then whatever action that is taken against that person, the president will no longer be blamed. People will no longer be attacking the president that he's favoring somebody above it. Everyone will say you breach a law. And the law says this is the punishment for what you have done. So if you are being punished, it's the law that is punishing you. It's the law that is taking the decision as to what should be done and not the president. And I believe that will save him a lot because the boldness to even launch the code of ethics, he needs to be commended that he realizes that he appointees might do things differently. But there is a crisis there. There's a deficit there that whatever punishment that can be meted that will also based on his discretion. And the more of these things will happen and how he applies that discretion. If it turns out that a large chunk of the public or a section of the public disagree with the kind of punishment he metes out to people, then the possibility is that there's going to be a loss of public trust in his government. There's going to be the spine of the government is going to be one that people will question. And when it gets to that, that means that the NDC's chances in 2028 elections really is under threat. And I don't think that that's what the president wants to leave behind. I don't think that's what the NDC wants. So for me, the discretion will always come under scrutiny. And people have their own expectations. So if it is not codified in law that if you do this, you will be given this punishment. But now it's the president's discretion. No matter how he exercises that discretion, there will be a group of people who will disagree with him. As Doc has said, look, there were civil society organizations who have spoken ahead of this, and they were all asking for investigation, suspension, and all these things. These are civil society organizations. We all know how their words influence society. Now, all that they've called for, based on what Felix is telling us, that means that suspension or further investigation is not going to take place. You understand it? So those sentiments will be with the CSOs that we thought that the best thing to do was to get investigation or to suspend the gentleman, but none of that have been done. Already, those CSOs in this particular issue, they have a trust issue with you. Because what they think should have been done is not what the president has recommended. But if it's the law that says this should be done, nobody's recommendations matters anymore. The law will just be made to work, and everybody will say, okay, it is the law that has been applied to the person in this case. Then the president doesn't suffer that deficit of he is exercising discretion in a way some group of people disagree with him.
Doc, you know what going off on the tangent that he just talked about election of 2028. If you think this early, 4 months into the machine that the president is even tested like this, do you know what is going to happen when the heir apparent in the NDC begins the succession battles and the succession wars next year to succeed President Mahama? Do you know what is going to happen when next 2 years, when they start to begin, when the camps emerge, those who are going to lead him, to lead after him? Do you know what happens when the chief of staff's people start their line, when the party chairman's people start their lines, and then that happens? That is where the problem is. That is why we are saying the president is digging a hole for himself. Because once the succession plan starts, once the different parties, people in the party are saying, okay, we are supporting the chief of staff, we are supporting the national chairman, we are supporting Honorable Haruna Idrisu, we are supporting this things. Then if one of them does something and you now go to support them, it will look as if the president is taking sides. It will look, so that is what we are saying, that don't do that. Start with a strong hand, be fair and be objective in this. In the position, the NDC talked about what? Moral absolutism. They were moral and even ethical absolutes in opposition. Right is right, wrong is wrong, it must be done. That is why, you can see that almost everything that happened, the NDC never made it look like there's a gray area. It's right or it's wrong. That is so-called moral absolutism. Today, you are in power, and what you are advocating is moral relativism. Oh, this is not that big. I hear somebody say, oh, is it wrong to give money to a needy person? The person is not a needy person. And I don't see people giving dollars to needy people. My friend just joined us. If you go to his village in Bimbala, Dr. Computer said, yesterday he was saying it. We all go to our hometowns. My hometown, we were together yesterday. He told me that in his hometown of Bimbala, when he goes there, he shares dollars, and I said that we've not captured him yet. So he said it yesterday. He will confirm what he said yesterday. We all do good things. But you know, like, it's like me giving this Dr. Computer money. The guy has all the money. Why would I give him money? And say it's charity. How is that charity? How is that helping somebody? Right now, yes, we're saying if you're giving money and this and the no, you don't keep a lot of dollars in your back in the boot of your car, and then you are spending them like you are a rap star in the Las Vegas strip club, and then you say that is helping the charity, helping the poor. That's not helping the poor. My point is that Ghanaians, if you think this is bad, wait until the Game of Thrones in the NDC begins. If you think this is bad, wait until the succession plans begin. If you think this is bad, wait until Chief of Staff takes a form, wait until National Chairman takes a form, wait until Honorable Haruna Idrisu takes a form, wait until the NDC falls into camps.
Are you suggesting aspirants for the NDC?
I'm not suggesting, I'm just telling you that.
Dropping names.
I'm telling you that these are the people that I know will want to succeed President Mahama, and they are going to go and fight. And I'm telling you that wait until they pick the forms, wait until the battle starts, and when that battle royale begins, that is when you will see that this code of conduct will become one of the most useless documents, because it's going to be thrown out. At that time, you will have no moral or ethical upper hand to punish anybody. Because the moment you punish one, it will look as if, let's say my brother here is supporting the Chief of Staff. And then he goes and gives dollars in Bimbala at the funeral, and you suspend him. But immediately, they're going to think that you're against, you understand? My point is, don't put your employees in such a strong position when it comes to discretion. Bring down the hammer, do the right thing. And so people would think that you are a fair king. So far, you look like a king who is unable or unwilling to make the difficult decisions, and that's bad.
Good morning, Doc. Computer CEO of Gift has joined us. Good to have you.
He's a big time CEO, you know that, right? He's always wearing tie and looking very powerful.
Doc, thanks for
yes.
We're discussing the issue of your colleague Sammy Gyamfi and the fact that the president has decided to pardon him.
Yes.
This should end all discussions on the matter, shouldn't it?
Very well. I mean, let me say good morning to Dr. Zatu and my friend, you as well, and the good people of Bimbala constituency. I mean, I'm from Bimbala, so when I do that, Zatu is not comfortable. Here, I've declined his invitation this morning. He's invited me to
he wants to be MP for Bimbala. Who is the current MP? Is it Dominic Nittiwo? Oh, you want to take on Dominic?
I said, okay. I've declined your invitation.
Allow us to go.
Yes, and let me put it on record. You see, when you go to our funeral grounds, he knows it, how we do it. In up north, we don't share dollars there. That's not what we do. Yes, but he knows that we do what we call cheerful give out. When they don't beat us and then are giving the appellations and all that, you sprinkle money on them if you have it. Even if you don't have, you have to look for somebody to give you and you also give. It's part of our tradition.
But not dollars.
No, don't deal dollars. Of course, I mean, that one there is this. And I'm saying that as of last week and then, no, in fact, from Monday up to Tuesday, we've been saying it's much ado about nothing. It was just, they were just blowing hot air. You know, MPP, with their style of doing things, they are looking for scandals for John Dramani government. For the 4 year going to the fifth, 4 months going to the 5th month, they have not seen even one scandal. They are worried. What is these people's secret? That they have started governing this country for the past 4 months and no even single one scandal. Compare that one to what happened in 2017. Full of scandals. From January to February, we're inundated with scandals. Boss scandals, contaminated fuel. Sure. They were sharing it like toffees, left and right. Dr. Zato and his people were just destroying the country from onset. Yeah, the man is on top of his job. The presidency is on top of his job. We have brought sanity into the presidency. We have brought some kind of respect, high respect to the presidency. You see, these days they can go and even demonstrate in the night. You see these people? They were telling us the presidency is a what? It's a security. So don't even look. If we hadn't stopped these people, I'm sure they would have asked Texas and Trotros not to pass that route again, because the way that at the path at which they were cruising, if we hadn't stopped them in December, they would have stopped people from using that route. But today, what do you see? The presidency is like a chief palace. I have visited my brother Zato's hometown. I know the place very well. It's lovely to go to the palace. Everybody goes there. It's open to everybody. It's just like the presidency. Your mama has made it very. It's for you. The governance is for you people. That is why you won't see scandal. So they shouldn't hold on a straw and think that Sami Jemfi has done something serious. Even yesterday we met and I was telling him, you should show which part of this constitution that he has violated anything. The code of conduct, none. But he took it upon himself, a gentleman, and apologized and said maybe there was some indiscretion on my part. Forgive me. That is not what I meant. Not what I'm going to do. So they cannot equalize it with anything. They were trying to bring in those who have open bank accounts in their bedrooms and hoarded all our dollars and pounds, everything in there. And the presidency started writing love letters. Have you seen your mama writing love letters to anybody before even inviting him? No. Unlike this, they were writing love letters and ascribing or astutness to the people and thinking that those people were clean and nothing will happen to them before they even invited them to listen to them. Compare that one to what we are doing now. You see, there's a mark of difference. Change come and things are being sanitized. And I'm saying that people are enjoying the better governance that we have promised them. And that is why I was so happy. As soon as it happened, the chief of staff invited Sami Jemfi to listen to him. At that time, the president was not in town. He came, they briefed him, and they took cognizance of his apology. Okay, and caution that, look, now be careful with people around. Look, we are all vulnerable. Very vulnerable. When I come out and I'm going to my car, I see a lot of people come around there. And some of them, they come with genuine problems. And the issue is so compelling that looking at the situation there, if you have something in your pocket, you give them. Now I'll give it, and some idiot is just using a camera and snapping there. I'm going to put it out there. And then everybody is saying we must discuss it, we must go everywhere and start talking about it. You know the trouble the person was going through at the time I gave it this thing.
So it's a matter of self-awareness.
I'm self-awareness. And look, and you know what? Even your private discussion, you are sitting with somebody, you don't even know what the person is thinking. Yeah. And the person is recording or filming you. And bring it out and they say, hey, MPP, are never going to do press conference. Today, if my wife has a miscarriage and there's a problem, they will go and do press conference and say, computer wife has a miscarriage. And therefore, you must investigate it. Is that what we are going? Is that how the absurdity of which you are going? And then yesterday, I was telling my good brother, look, he went, his people were looking for GCs and he gave them. Dr. Zato here. Yeah. He presented GCs and with some fat envelope. You saw that? Oh, he knows it. He can't deny it. Some fat envelope, brown envelope. Hey. Can you see through the brown envelope what is inside?
That's why we saw the counting of dollars.
But we saw the envelope. He agreed there was an envelope, big one. So what was in that envelope?
Too big. So
And I'm saying, I see, we didn't crucify him because we think that these are people in his constituency. They need JSA. Yeah, he has given them.
Yeah.
And he's supporting them. Maybe the envelope is meant to, so some things that we don't know. For his parliamentary beat, he's trying it back again to convince them. So this one, should we come and be talking about it? Should we have the whole press conference and say Zato give the T-shirts, this JSS, and some fat envelope, and therefore we must investigate him. We must let him come and do this. These are the things we
are you concerned about the perception, the kind of perception you to put out there to create?
That's why I'm saying that, you see, we must redefine the kind of thing we talk about our culture and then given. Ghanaians by our culture. You go to a palace, you go to some people, you do something good. Instead of them to even know that you are doing that is services that you are rendering to them. They would rather come with a goat and yams. Meanwhile, you are delivering a service that you are mandated to do. But if you say you won't collect the goat and the yam, do you know what they will think about you? You are a very bad man. You don't respect them. So sometimes we collect those things just out of respect. But the service I'm providing is what I'm mandated to do. Are you getting it? Right. But they feel that they are happy that you have come. I'm sure this JSS and the envelope he gave them, they would have given him something in return. We call it token. Now this we call it something we call a token. When they bring you even the goat and you are, the cow, you have to even pull some 10 cedis as a parting gift for them.
Right.
It's part of our culture, our tradition. And so when Sami did this thing, it was just out of generosity. The woman was pestering him, asking for fuel.
Sure.
Give me fuel, give me fuel. Pestering him. And he's a cheerful giver. I know him. I've worked with him in several fronts. During opposition, we did a lot of things together. And I sometimes ask him, you will give her to the extent when you are coming back to the party or he has nothing in his pocket again. And I said, that is how the young man is. Sometimes if people are doing that, watch their background, where they are coming from. You would have seen that they didn't find life easy. So when they see somebody asking for something, they easily want to also reciprocate. But our opponent, they have nothing in this country to offer. 81 seats. They have stolen 7 seats, and we are chasing them for the 7 seats. And so now they are calling, they say 88 seats. That is the problem we are having with them. And so they go out every day, they are holding press conference upon press conference. Sami Jemfi alone, do you know the number of press conference? Minority did a press conference. They also went to party headquarters, did press conference. They unleashed all their attack dogs onto the media to be talking. Since yesterday, they were talking all over the place. Dr. Zato and his co were leading the charge, attacking left and right. Nothing to write about. Nothing. Completely nothing. No, and so let's thank the presidency for bringing sanity into this matter. And the matter is dead. It's gone. Let's just forget of it. And then look at the bread and butter matter, which Zato and Co are enjoying. You know what? So fuel prices are gone down.
Every single NDC, I'll just come. No, he's my friend. I said every single NDC member has been whipped into line. You've just seen that. He just followed the party's line. And this is the point.
Is it not same on your side?
It's not the MPP alone. This is okay. Our grief is the MPP NDC. We say it's the normal. Ghana Integrity Initiative have come out to condemn this. They too are the MPP. Every single civil society organization that cares about ethics, about morals, about good governance, have come out to condemn this. Are they also MPP? Every one of them have issued this. In fact, Ghana Integrity Initiative has called for a minimum of 2 months or 4 months ban. Are they MPP? So I mean, he would love for it to be the regular MPP NDC dance. So you consider it's just politics as usual. But it is not. There are people in the middle, people who care about values, people who care about ethics, people who care about good governance who are there, and they have condemned it too. What says ye? What do you say to those people too? That they too have an angle. So great, the MPP has a political angle. What about those people in the middle? What about the ordinary Ghanaians? And I told you yesterday, the biggest upheaval about this is coming from NDC foot soldiers. I have a lot of them. Look, they are on Facebook. They are all talking to me. It is the same NDC people who are mad at this because they think that it is dimming their chances. What say you about them too? So it is not only the MPP that is talking about this. Civil society organizations, your own foot soldiers, and some of your members who are behind, those who are not yet whipped into line, are also complaining about this. So no. It's not. Every single news journalist worth his salt has also come out to condemn this. And it is precisely because of these gray areas that a code of conduct is important.
Very well. Elvis, the minister in charge of government communications, after the meeting with the chief of staff, told us there would be an investigation. And now he's saying that the pardon and the caution is enough. So that means that the investigation won't happen again. So it brings us back to the issue of communication around matters of public interest.
As I always say, you don't rush to go and say something tomorrow, you are saying something else. People will drag you. And the politicians always give room for public to drag them. And that's the bottom line. You see, at that time, the decision has not been taken for investigation. You come to say there will be investigation. Now, being faced with the full facts, now they say there will be no investigation. So the question, on what basis did you come to say that there will be investigation? So that's why I said, I see, sometimes government communication should not be in a hurry. It's better to get it right rather than you have to go and say something tomorrow, you come and change your position. It creates a problem of communication deficit for the government. And I don't think that should be happening. You see, Dr. Tanko has said all that a party person will say, okay, which is normal. But you see, as I said, the code of conduct was launched by President Mahama. The government took a decision to do it voluntarily. You see, when I talk about public trust, as I said, when you exercise discretion, in your opinion, this thing that you have done is the right thing. But in the opinion of other people, what you did is not enough. And that is where the public trust issue comes from. So when you are going to rely more on discretion in matters of this nature, you will be creating a deficit for yourself. And this is not the first deficit. They started with the outside declaration. Domelo, who we all know how he did his work as Auditor General, said for him, if he was in charge, he would have fired all those who did not declare. Okay? So if you look at that stance, Domelo completely disagreed with President Mahama's position that this 3-month salary should go. If he were the president, he would have fired them.
Yeah, exactly.
But the president took a decision that I will take 3 months and put it in Mahama care. That is the kind of example I want the NDC to look at, that how many people in the society also have the same position like Domelo. That, oh, Mahama's 3-month salary has taken for them. It's not enough. If I were the person, or I wish the president had taken a harder action. That is the problem you have with discretion. So most of the time, discretion will cost you more than even implementing the law.
Yeah.
That is why I talk about public trust and why we shouldn't reduce issues of ethics and a code of conduct to what law did the person breach. Because ethics and the code of conduct have nothing to do with whether somebody has breached a law or not. So the moment you are reducing it to that, you are creating a deficit for yourself. That's why I said that if I am advising President Mahama, I will tell him that as quickly as possible, he should get the Attorney General to work to look at the Conduct of Public Officers Bill and get it passed. See, that will take away the discretion from him. And then the blame people will be blaming him that I disagree with all this your decision. It will no longer be there, because now it will be the person being dealt with based on the law. Not being dealt with based on President Mahama's discretion. And that is where I want the NDC to look at. And I said it and I always say it. See, goodwill will bring you to power. Today, NDC is enjoying the goodwill. But perception is what will take you to opposition. The people disagreeing with President Mahama actions in terms of how he exercises discretion is what is going to lead to the perception. And the perception that is going to make people to say, on this issue, I expected him to do this. He didn't do it. He did it this way. I disagree. So when it comes to the polls, I also want them to have the power to punish you. So for me, it's, as I said, it's a good step that he wants to enforce a certain standard. And I can tell President Mahama that if they don't get that bill passed early, a lot of appointees are going to fall victims to this code of ethics with this, in terms of the discretion. A lot of people are going to be found wanting of what has been launched in the code. And therefore, the earlier they pass the law, that will take away that discretion. The better for the government and the better for President Mahama. But if they delay and they don't pass that law, a lot of appointees along the way will be found one way or the other flouting and you see, Dr. Tanko talk about our culture. If we are building that ethics, the culture should come in. If we think that the culture of giving is something that we think is part of us, what kind of gift can a public official give? Because the president has just talked about what you can receive. You understand it? So then it means that we are going to pass the law. If you are in public office, it doesn't matter how much money you have. This is what you can do. Because see, I said this somewhere, let me say it. See, when I enter a plane today and I see a public official sitting in business or first class, I'm not interested in where he gets his money. my first thinking is that, hey, this person is spending public money. Oh.
Yeah.
A public official sitting in the first class.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he bought that ticket by his own money.
Yeah.
Maybe he's sitting there on, but the mere fact that
He's
the
there.
person is in the public office, my perception will be that this guy is wasting public money. This is how public officials will look at how we look at them on everything. You may have 10 V8s before you come to power. I expect you to drive a small car in power. If I see you changing V8 left and right, I have no means of knowing whether it is it's government that bought it for you. And I will say, hey, this guy is really enjoying public money. He has 4 V8s. That is the perception the public will have of you. It doesn't matter because when you have you have money in a private office, people don't pay attention to you. You may have 4 V8 in public. How many Ghanaians would I have 4 V8s in the private, when you were private? But the moment you become a public official, people want to see which car do you drive. So the moment they see you change the V8 1 to the assumption is that all those V8s you are using were bought by public money. So you see, we should understand that even if you are rich or you have your own money, what you can do when you are a private individual and people will not complain. If you do just 1% of that, when you are a public official, the public will complain. So we should be able to differentiate between what a person can do when you are a private individual and what you can do the moment you accept to actually serve in public office. So Sami Jefi may be a giver, but he was giving a lot when he was in opposition. Today, if he continues that giving, public will begin to question, no matter how legitimate. So what work alone does he do that he's able to give so much?
Yeah.
Because you are in public office. The fear is that when you are in public office, you are superintending over the nation's resources.
Yeah.
And therefore the fear is that when you are living a certain life that the public perceive as extravagant, the assumption is that probably it is our public money you are using to do that. And that is why the scrutiny of public offices. And remember, people made the argument that he went to a private event. The moment you accept to serve in public office, no aspect of your life is private anymore.
Right.
Excuse me to say, if you go and take a girlfriend, it will be an issue we have to discuss. Because yes, if you go and take a second, we will discuss it. You understand it? Because if you are not a public official,
if you go to people they give you a new wife, we'll discuss it.
It will be a major topic of discussion. Why? It is simply because
now that you're saying, they'll call you and say they want to give you a new wife. I'm discussing.
I'm telling you, is it politically you think you disagree, but I can tell you that you'll be shocked.
The public will be interested.
You'll be shocked that the public will. Why is it that this man has a second
now has a new wife?
I'm telling you.
Why did I use the
Dr. Computer.
We'll discuss it here.
The code of conduct.
Yes. In fact, those Muslims are permitted to marry.
Wrap up for me.
If you have one in opposition, or you are not public official,
and you add on
you
when
become
you are
government, you come and add 2 more.
Who question that?
Well, you can now he's added 2 wives because now he's doing public service. I'm citing this example for politicians to understand that the expectation of the public of them when they accept to serve in public is so high.
Yeah.
It's so high compared to when you are on your own doing your own thing.
Private business.
And then what you do with your own money, even if you are in public office, your own money, we will question it because we will not have the ability to know the source of the money you are using. So the only assumption that comes to mind is that probably the person is using our public money to do that. And that's why we question. Right. And that's why they have to be careful of whatever they do when they are in public office. Right. It's very important.
Right.
Doc, I do agree with the perception aspect he's talking of. Yes, perception is everything. In politics, it takes almost 80%. Well, the moment you are perceived in a way, everybody thinks that's how you are supposed to be, unless people come closer to you. But I'm disagreeing on the aspect of private life. Okay, I mean, what is the essence of bringing somebody private life publicly? That correlation doesn't work. Okay, completely. It is the aspect, the profligacy aspect of it that we might talk. For instance, if I decide to say, okay, I'm going to marry, you should be watching how it's going to marry. If I go and marry in just about 5 minutes, the marriage is 5 minutes. We are finished. And let me thank my pastor. He did his marriage. In fact, it was less than 30 minutes. And then he spent not less than, it wasn't up to 20 cedis. Because they just bought some malt and some few things there. And the person, they're off. So in that, what kind of discussion are you coming to talk about it?
Very well.
But when it becomes grandiose, okay, where you are moving shakers, everybody, I know Zato will go and do press conference in that aspect. Because that one there, yes, it's right. The perception that you are using public money to do this kind of thing. But when you see the thing, I've married, nobody even, I haven't invited all of you, nobody has come. And that one should come in for discussion because I'm in power, that's why I have married. You see, in that case, that was saying that that aspect, we shouldn't go down to that level. Yes, I mean, it's private life. I'll give you an example. For instance, when the former national security minister had some issue with the girlfriend, and there was some videos out there and other thing, everybody will all condemn it. Because it just didn't make sense. That didn't warrant the attack that he was receiving. That was his private life. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the office he was doing, and that's why nobody took comes with that. But although we chastise and say he should be cautious in his next dealing on other thing. Do you know that a lot of things people do behind scene? The curtains, when you pull the curtain in their house, you don't know what they do it. But so we don't bring those ones into our distance, but we are asking that people should be very cautious. And I'm happy our brother was cautioned that look, next time, now that you are in public and then people are watching, cameras are all over the place. Maybe we have to be discreet in some of the things we do. And I'm saying that aspect, the difficult aspect of it is our culture. Do you see that? That's the difficult aspect I'm saying. Because every day I get invitation for funerals, for weddings, for adories. And you know the meaning of those invitations. Come prepare.
Yeah.
You can't come and sit down there. They've invited you for a funeral. Then you come and sit down. They give you all their alcohol, so and so. Then the funeral finish, nothing. You have not part anything.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever invite you for anything. Nobody. You wouldn't get any invitation anywhere. But the moment we begin to talk about it, then I come out there, announce me nicely, and I say, okay, I'm parting, I've given 5,000 for my donation for the funeral and all that. Then the camera is shooting, I'm giving that money. I say, look at this man, for the free, he's in office. Look at the money he's giving to people. You see, that one, we shouldn't go to that absurdity.
Right.
That is what we are talking of. But where we think that what the person is doing, and the persons have opened an account in their room and they are hoarding huge sums of dollars and pounds in their rooms. That one we will talk about it. These are officers who are dissipating citizens, and we will talk about it.
Let me remind you of an example that is
briefly.
He talked about what former National Secretary Kandapa's video. In any serious country, Kandapa will not remain a National Security Minister. And I gave you an example.
Yeah, we do agree. Okay. I'm saying that we do agree.
In Sweden,
yes.
The National Security Advisor photo was found on just a dating site. He had to resign. So
I said that there are a lot of things
as National Security Minister at the time.
You see,
and in these circumstances, he shouldn't have remained in office as
I am saying that comparatively, the
Mm.
culture setup of Ghana doesn't allow us to do certain things that we can call on people to resign. Otherwise, Nanado would have called on him to resign when he received those envelopes.
You see the point I'm making? This is the
the
moral relativism I'm talking about. When I say that, they are more.
Hold on.
You see, that aspect, I'm saying that. That aspect, yes, we look at it. When you are comparing those things, you must also look at where our background, where we are coming from. In a society where it is not allowed, the law doesn't allow you to go in for a second wife. It's a crime to do that. You'll be prosecuted if you think of marrying a second wife, right? In those societies, the life they live here, we have our chiefs who can marry 20 wives. Do you get that? Do you go and say because somebody is prosecuted in America because he's married a second wife, you should come and use the same benchmark for our chiefs here and our people who do that? That's why I'm saying we shouldn't go to that realm. And I'm saying that, yes, we all condemn that and say we should be cautious what we are doing. Our settings in terms of morality should not be measured with what comes from the Western life. They are married men and men are married each other. Are we not on arms in Ghana saying that we will not hear that story in Ghana? But that one is it's fine for them. It's good for them.
Let me see what I'm saying.
No, you see, again, I said this point. I said this point. I said the time we're saying that when it comes to this, they are moral relativists. You've seen that. In opposition, they are pluralists. In opposition, is class warfare. In opposition, they are absolutists. In opposition, this is wrong, this is wrong. In opposition, Karl Marx will praise them. In opposition, Lenin will praise them. In opposition, they are fighting for the ordinary working man of the world. Now that they are in power, they are moral relativists. Now that they are in power, they are cigar smoking, champagne drinking, Mercedes-Benz driving, bourgeois. And when we now talk, they parrot Maria Antoinette and they say, let them eat cake. We will not eat cake, or we will survive on cake. But I want to let you know that it is not about moral relativism. It's not about what you then choose to say this is important. People go for village funerals. We all go to our villages. But I've not seen anybody go with a brand new SUV, open the boot, collect money, and then you start to share. And then somebody even had the audacity to collect the rest in your hand and just, yeah, take it and go. If I go and do that in my village of Tuma, I won't get fuel to come back to Accra. But he can do that and go away. So what we are saying is that this is morally reprehensible, and not only the NPP saying it. I want to get this point clear. Every single civil society organization with the assault is condemning this. We cannot allow this bourgeois parading as pluralities deceive us. No.
Right. Elvis,
I
you
just
have the
want
final
to
take on
reiterate
this.
the point I made. Maybe Dr. Tanko was not here. I said, what is legal may keep one out of prison, but it is what is ethical that keeps public trust alive. In this light, the debate is not about whether Sami Jefi should be prosecuted. It is about whether he should be held to the ethical standard his own party and he himself have championed for others. When ethics are enforced only when convenient or dismissed entirely unless tied to legal breach, then the moral spine of a government collapses.
Very well.
This should guide whatever we are doing when it comes to code of conduct and code of ethics. It has nothing to do with law.
Very
It
well.
has principles that we should not play and attribute to law.
Right. All right, let's make progress. The committee set up petitions against the Chief Justice will begin hearing today. They will sit 3 times a week and present their recommendation to the president upon completion of their work. Dr. Zato, I'm coming to you because the statement from the presidency tells us how many times they'll be sitting a week. However, what is absent is a timeline for completion of their work. I don't know if this should be a matter of concern or otherwise. Because you see, the CJ has been suspended and is on suspension. And so how soon the work of the committee is done is important to her reinstatement or otherwise.
Thank you very much. What you've seen happening here with this whole CJ matter is just a matter of ticking boxes. It's all a charade. It's a carefully calculated plan. The CJ is gone. The CJ is not coming back. Oderene. She's not coming back. It's finished. There is no way. All that is now left is to take the so-called legal boxes. You say that we've done this. She's not coming back. She's gone.
She's not been found guilty of anything.
Again, she's suspended. I'm telling you that she's not coming back. This is a political process masqueraded as a legal process. No, it's a clear political strategy. I said this somewhere. It's the weaponization of the judicial process to get a political outcome. And I've said it again. The target is not, you see, unfortunately, the Chief Justice is just caught in the crosshairs. She's actually not the target.
So who is?
She's the EC chair and her deputies. This is just a means to an end. She is just a route today because people are afraid that, well, if we don't remove her and we send a petition to remove the EC chair, she may look at the merits of the petition, and if it's not meritorious, discuss it. Then we cannot do anything again. So there's this debate within the NDC. How do we achieve these political objectives?
You're not part of
and
them. How do you know?
And they are always, I've said, they are always political hawks, and they are doves, and they are the moderates. In this particular debate, I've said it again on some other platforms, the hawks have won. They have managed to convince the president, Mr. President, the only way to get Jane Mensah and her deputies out is through all roads to the EC list through what?
The CJ.
The CJ. Get her out. And said, I don't think deep down, His Excellency President Mahama doesn't want this to be part of his record. Deep down, he doesn't want to be remembered as the first president in this republic who got a Chief Justice out. Deep down, he's being forced to take this and buy the hawks in the party. And it's going to happen. So this is the sharing. My point is that, Mr. President, it will be done. But can you do it in a way that is, for want of a better word, that brings more transparency? For instance, these updates that we are getting, he's not mandated to give us these updates. You know that, right?
Yeah.
The president, by the law, is not mandated to tell us that these updates are happening. But he's doing it. Mr. President, can you go ahead and do that? There are things that you are not mandated to do, but legally they are not wrong. Can you do that? Can we learn? First of all, can you publish the record of the committee that determined the, how do you call it?
The prima facie.
The prima facie. Again, the holdings are in camera. But can we see the report? I don't think there's any law in Ghana that says that don't publish that. I don't see this anyway. Because you want to encourage transparency. Your hands are forced, but you want to pretend that you are being transparent. Can you make us see that that
The
report?
Constitution says the hearings must be in camera.
Agree, but the Constitution doesn't say anything about the products of the hearing, does it?
So eventually the products will come out.
No,
That
but
will be the
no,
outcome.
eventually, but you are keeping us. You want us to follow you on the journey, right? That's why you're giving us. Why are you telling us this update?
What he can give is what he's
But
giving.
he can, the Constitution doesn't say don't give out that report. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but did he say that? If he gives out that report, is he breaking the law? I don't think it's.
the lawyers will
Yes,
come-
fine. If they
come
do,
up
fine.
with
But if
that.
not, secondly, this committee that is coming up, it's being camera. Will we see the report? Can the president say that, look, once this committee is there, I'll add on that so that, look, Ghanaians can see. And then we can read ourselves, we can say, yes, this is meritorious. We can see, we can read. The students of law can study it in their classes. Lawyers that are practicing can read it because tomorrow they may be called to defend another guy, another person. My point is that this whole thing is being done in such a way that you just know the outcome. I'm saying it on record here. The Chief Justice is gone. She's gone. If she's go back to her office, probably she's forgot something that she's going to pick. If she go back, but she's not going anywhere. And that is what we've gotten. It's going to be a blot on the record of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama that he is the first president who has done this to this woman at a time that we think that we should go in there because she's a nice person. The Chief Justice is a nice person. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a nice person. I don't think he wants that the woman or the Chief Justice that swore him into office, her reward is going to be that she's going to fire her from office.
He is bound by the Constitution to act on the
But I've
petitions
just
received.
told you something. Yes, it is. And I told you. He is forced and compelled to do that by the hawks in the party.
By the Constitution.
Yes, I've made a point. First of all, there are things. The Constitution says if you get a petition, send it to the Council of State.
Council of State, yes.
I don't know. Did the Constitution tell us how long you have to people can send it to the Council of State?
No.
So he could have kept it.
Until when?
He decides. That's discretion.
And so he could have forwarded same within the
And-
time
and-
he did.
again, so
And that's
so
discretion.
thank you. Now we are going to the question of discretion. This one, him. But the other one, but this Sami Jefi there, nothing to see here, just on
I'm not sure it's on the same scale.
I'm making on the same scale. You brought it. So the question that he could have decided that he won't forward that report. He could have kept it until he's leaving office. He'll forward it because the Constitution doesn't tell you must do it now. Again, now the committee does set up. The committee doesn't tell you how quick or fast you should set up the committee, does it? You've received. They say prima facie. It says set up a committee. The committee doesn't say set it up now, right?
No.
So you choose, again, discretion there, right? I'm talking about where the president has discretion. The committee has started talking. When the committee comes out with their report, again, the committee doesn't tell you when you should start implementing that report. Again, discretion. They are passive. This impression or this time for you to do this may provide a window of opportunity for you to let us see some light in the process, for you to let us see how transparent you want to be. But it's not going to happen. That is because the end is already determined. The woman is going, and they're going to the political objective of securing this whole thing is going to be achieved.
Right.
I pray and hope that it comes well. I pray and hope that future governments learn from this. Because the question about this is about what we call path dependency. And everybody will parrot it. Charlotte Osei was removed. You remove Charlotte Osei, so this man too is gone. That is as simple as that. That's the argument. Why did you remove Charlotte Osei? Why did you remove the former Shiraj boss? Once these people have done, the past has been clear.
Thorough.
And that it has been done. My point is that Charlotte Osei was not a co-equal arm of the government. The Chief Justice is.
Right.
The former Shiraj boss was not a co-equal arm of the government. The current Chief of Staff, the Chief Justice is. So if you are removing a co-equal arm of government, it shouldn't be based on such a flimsy issue and excuses.
Very well.
She's gone
Very well.
and it's finished, but it's unfortunate.
Dr. Zato, thank you. I'll take a few messages, go on a break, I come back and then I give you an opportunity to my two other guests. This is Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm saying, good morning, my brother. Truth be told, I agree largely with my brother Elvis Darko that we need to be very careful when we are serving in public offices, but it's also good that Sami Jemfi was cautioned and the apology rendered accepted by the president. It is clear that cautioning of public officers was part of the code of conduct of the president. This one says, good morning to you all in the studio. Please, I have a harmless question for the NDC faithful. How do you pardon someone who has not done anything wrong? Okay. Obi Bankitia is asking that one. This one says, I wonder why keeping dollars in a room will be a crime, but sharing it from the car becomes generosity. What was wrong yesterday must be wrong today. Let's stop the hypocrisy. Sir Joe Baba sending that one in. Keep sending your messages in. We'll find time to read all of them. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we continue with the conversations. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the news review segment on Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. The conversation has progressed. We're now looking at the issue of the suspension of the Chief Justice. The committee set up to look into the petitions for her removal. Committee chaired by Justice Gabriel Scott Poorman will begin their sittings today, expected to sit 3 times a week and present their findings to the president upon completion of their work. Elvis, let me come to you on the matter of the CJ and the committee sittings. I have a little bit of a problem with the timing that she's been suspended for close to 3 weeks and the committee is now going to begin its sittings. If the committee wasn't ready to begin sittings, why is suspended for 3 weeks before the committee begins its work?
That is your concern, but that is how discretion is used. That, you see, these are the issues about discretion.
And that is where people form the opinion about an abuse.
That's what I'm saying, that when you allow too much discretion, if you are not careful, your good intention will turn out to be your downfall. Do you understand it? Because see, for you, you think you are doing the right thing. But in the minds of other people, they think it should have been done otherwise. But because it is not codified in law, it is not spelled out how that discretion should be exercised. How you exercise it is your decision. And we may have, or the public may have, issues with how you exercise it. But the question is, if that discretion was given to me, I may also have exercised in a different way that others also have problem with me. And that is why me, as a person, I don't like room for discretion. Let it be written in black and white. So that if I faulted, I know that I faulted. But when you give me a discretion, then based on various factors that determine how I do things, I'll exercise it the way I want. So you see, faulting the president for exercising his discretion, I don't know how you want to do, because how you exercise your discretion is your decision. Do you understand it? So yes, there may be issue of why was she suspended. It is the fault of the Constitution. And that's why I have said it here, and I'll say it again, that the removal process that stipulated in the Constitution is unfair. And I agree with the former CJ Sofia Akufu. I agree with the Ghana Bar Association. I agree with anybody that points out that flaw, that the process that has been outlined for the removal of a superior court judge and the CJ is, to me, flawed because it is unfair. Okay? But the fact is that as long as we have not cured that unfairness that is in the Constitution, whoever is clothed with the power to exercise that discretion or exercise the way he or she thinks is good. And we can only complain because we cannot also accuse the person of breaching any law. As I said, we cannot accuse the person of breaching any law because per the Constitution, the person has not breached any law. But it's because of the void that exists and the power of discretion that has been given to that person. The person decides to exercise it the way he or she wants. So for me, I think that these are all issues we are raising. And I said it here before, that probably what is happening to the CJ is also in a way a blessing because we are on the process of doing a constitutional review. We are all now pointing out the loopholes in what we think is happening. It's an opportunity for us to capture these things to the constitutional review and make sure that we actually close those gaps. So future, the president can come and do a similar thing that is happening now because they would have closed all the loopholes that we have identified as a people that know this process is unfair, but the president has no choice because the president can also not disobey the Constitution. So he's also doing what he's doing because that's what the Constitution is. And it's the power for him is for him to ask, Doctor has said, that the Constitution doesn't say it should take you 7 days or 1 month to forward the Constitution to the petition to the Council of State. So a president can come and say, as for me, this petition, I will say 1 month a year, I will not forward it. Nobody can say, why is he not forwarding it? Because the Constitution did not give it a timeline. It said forward it, but what is the timeline? So I will decide, my people are looking at it. We are looking for legal opinion to see whether we should forward it or not. Even if it is 1 year, the president can sit on it without. What will you say? You can only accuse him of unfairness. You can only allege that he's abusing the process. But the point is, there is no specific period that he's supposed to forward it. You understand it? Even the Council of State, I've not seen the number of days that is given to them or duration given to them to determine whether there's a premier facie case or not. You understand? So clearly we can see that we have a process in our Constitution that has so many loopholes. We sat down, and for me, the painful aspect is that Justice Jones Doche, leading the Supreme Court in a judgment in 2020, actually identified all these loopholes and made a recommendation that the government of the day, the executive, should take steps to cure it because they realized that there's a whole unfairness in the process. For 4 years, we sat down and did nothing about it. And today we are all talking about it. And we are back to the same thing. That's why in a country where it's like we talk a lot and do little, these are the things. We will just be revisiting the same issues back and forth, back and forth. You see, the GBA asked that there's a precedent that the former President Akufo-Addo actually published or made public their decision of a prima facie case, whether they determine how they determine it. And they issued a statement asking that President Mahama should release that report. What is the basis of determining that prima facie case? Initially, the NDC made us believe, or the government and spokesman, oh, the president is very, very fair, generous. He gave the CJ the petition. But that request for the publication of the prima facie determination, up to now, the president has not released this. So, on one hand, we should praise the president that he gave the CJ the petitions. But on the other hand, the president not releasing that prima facie case, we are not concerned. But at the same time, too, you cannot force the president. The issue of discretion. The decision to give the CJ was a discretion. So now the decision to either publish as demanded by GBA or not is also a discretion. So you see, we are trying to blame the president but the issue is not the individual, it's the process that we are saying. There's so many loopholes. You understand? So if we sit here and want to be talking about how somebody exercises a discretion, we may not close today because we will all have why we think this is the way you should have done it or the other way you should have done it. You will have a different opinion. I may have a different opinion. He may have a different. He may have it because it's a matter of discretion how you exercise it. So for me, I say whatever the outcome is from this thing that we are experiencing, the most important thing is the lessons that we will learn about the various loopholes that various individuals and groups have pointed out about the process and how quickly we will cure that process to make sure that we don't go through this again in the near future. For me, that's the most important thing.
Doc, the argument of the MPP and the minority is that this is purely political and not legal, as you want to put it. They argue that you are taking advantage of the loopholes as established by Elvis just now you're weaponizing the legal processes for a political gain.
You see, my brothers, Ghana, we have a long way to go. In 1992, we voted for this constitution. Yes, in fact, I'm happy to say that I was part of it. Who voted yes? Some group of people went around the country and said we should vote no against them. I remember very well what Professor Dubois and co, Nana Akufo-Addo, their group, were all over the place. Vote no against the constitution. We queued and voted yes for the constitution. The constitution guides our life in this country. The constitution describes the governance structure of this country and how we should be governed in this country. We are not lawless people in this country. I'm surprised certain aspect of our institution in Ghana wants this government to act lawless. We are not going to be lawless. In any case, let me correct this perception. John Dramani Mahama is not the first person to initiate the process of the removal of the Chief Justice. He's not. In fact, Nana-Addo, under the 1992 Constitution, is the first president to ever initiate a process of removing the Chief Justice. Just last year, December, Professor Kweku Azar wrote a petition to Nana Akufo-Addo asking him to remove the learned Chief Justice. What did Nana-Addo do? Under Article 146, it's here. Under Article 146, Nana-Addo passed the petition to the Council of State to come up with their what? Prima facie.
Prima facie, yeah.
They came out to rate and sent their report. They didn't find anything wrong with what they accused the learned Chief Justice. They didn't find anything wrong. They said no. They didn't find a prima facie case against the lady, so she has no questions to answer. And therefore, they were recommending to Nana Akufo-Addo to dismiss the petition. He went ahead. Because they didn't find prima facie, the exercise of discretionary power did not come. That is because a committee was not set. If there's no prima facie, you cannot form. Under Article 146, where 6 is talking about the formation of the 5-man committee. It is when the prima facie is found.
It's established.
Now here, the same president, I'm talking of the presidency, another petition came. This time it's NDC. It's NDC government. And the president is called John Dramani Mahama. And somebody sent petitions to him on the same subject matter. This time it's not on the same issue that was being dismissed. It's a different matter. Those who send it are living testimonies to her action against them. That's why they wrote the petitions and send it to the president. Acting on the same article that Nanado acted and dismissed the petition. Now, hell must break loose because it's John Dramani Mahama and NDC. When it was MPP, Nanado, constitutional, he's doing his writing. Oh yeah, everybody should go and sleep. But we have a new president and his name is different and it's not pronounced Akufo-Addo, it's pronounced John Dramani Mahama. He's acting lawlessness. Can you imagine the direction of which is coming? When I say these people are trying to undermine his authority, MPP and their like, undermine his authority, and that is where we are having problem with them. This, your former president acted the same way. Is it because, okay, if they had found prima facie case against the lady Chief Justice at that time, in December, was Nanado going to say, because they have not found, I'm not going to set a committee? He would have set the committee.
Yes,
it's constitutional. He's bound by the Constitution to do that. And he would have exercised his discretionary powers under clause 10 of the article. Now, in exercising discretion, that's why we must look, this Constitution, we have problems with it, yes, but it's very clear in certain actions. Look at how discretionary powers is exercised under Article 296.
296.
Check the B, where they are trying to talk about it. They are saying that the exercise of the discretionary power shall not be arbitrary, capricious, or biased either by resentment, prejudice, or personal dislike, and shall be in accordance with the process of law. Come and see how the discretionary power under clause 10 of the article says.
146.
146. Where a petition has been referred to a committee under this article, the president may discretionary. That's the discretionary power. Listen to how they carve it. The framers of the Constitution. In the case of the Chief Justice, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, is it capricious? Is this one capricious? Is it arbitrary? Is it a sentiment? Acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, suspend by warrant signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice.
And that's where they go into the composition of the Council
and
of State.
I'm saying that the composition of the Council of State is a creation of the Constitution. We voted yes for it. The composition is not arbitrary. It's a creation of the Constitution. The same former president formed the same Council of State and they came out with a judgment. This Council of State, 31 of them, out of the 31, 30 of them passed verdict. Are you telling me the learned former Chief Justice, the learned, this thing, Right Honorable Speaker, you have former Army Commander, police, all these chiefs, learned chiefs and all that, venerable, high-level elites in our society, who form the Council of State, 30 of them, they are done their heads. Nothing is in their head. Is that what we are saying? Is that the insult we are giving to the Council of State?
No.
No, that is where we are coming. That is the absurdity of which we are going. Because they came out with a prima facie. They sat through the petitions, read it clause by clause, and 30 of them agreed that Madam has a case to answer.
A former CJ has raised issue with
I am saying that. I'm coming. Look, see, I'm saying, Dato, you are going to ambush me. Ambush tactics. Hold on. I'm saying, listen, I'm coming. I am saying that in establishing the prima facie, 30 members of the Council of State agreed and dismissed some, not all the charges brought against Madam. when Madam responded to them, they read Madam responses, read the petitions, and agreed on some and dismissed some. Are you getting it? And said you have a case to answer on this ones. By so doing, a committee has to be formed.
Would it not do the public good if you publish the establishment of the prima facie?
Tell me which part of the constitution they publish the prima
That's
facie.
where the
and that's why I'm saying that, you see,
comes.
we cannot act lawlessness. If there's a lacuna in the constitution, that doesn't mean that you should go and act lawlessness. That's where I'm saying that. And I'm saying that...
Not contrary to the law to publish
But
it.
I'm saying, well, I am saying that one, you don't access to act lawlessness. The law is asking us to do certain things.
It will not be lawless if you publish it.
I am saying that, listen, why is it that the constitution is saying that they must sit in camera? Is that not what the constitution is saying?
That is the
But some of them, learned people are today are all over the place saying that they should open up the doors for them, people to come and see, they should make it public. Are they not asking us to act lawlessness? Is that how we are going to teach people in the school? You see, that is why Professor Atamils, I'm saying that's what the professor,
it's stated
very clear,
that it should be in camera.
in camera. And I'm saying that, so why would somebody know this and be asking that they should open up the place?
A suggestion.
One suggestion is that, are you not asking them to act lawlessness?
There's a CRC happening there, sitting.
I am saying that
as we
is,
speak.
you are asking us to fall into a realm of absurdity in law. And that is what we must guide against.
Very well.
And I'm saying that clearly, look, let's allow them to do. My brother was saying that the CJ is a goner. How can you conclude this way? How can you conclude this way?
Because the
Was the
argument that
CA,
is politics
I'm saying
and
that,
not law.
was the CA a goner when the petition was given to Nana Akufo-Addo? Was she a goner at that time? So that time you didn't see that she was a goner. You didn't know that what the venerable professor was asking for was that she should be removed. At that time you didn't see that she was a goner. It's because Nanado said no, there was no prima facie. I dismissed it. So that one you were comfortable. But this time, these fine gentlemen and ladies agreed that there is a prima facie. A committee said she's now going to avail. So look, she's a lawyer. She understood. In fact, the highest point of law is to be a chief justice. Is that not it? She has achieved that. So she understood the enormity of what is going on. And then she will go and defend. Let her go and meet the committee. If she exonerate herself and the committee find favors in what she has presented and their report indicates that she hasn't done anything wrong, her office is still there.
Very well. Dr. Zadu,
But we can conclude. You can't give a categorical conclusion.
briefly.
You said that there are 30 people voted for Terra against. How did you get that number?
I didn't know 31. I didn't know 31.
You see what I'm talking about?
I'm saying, what is
How do you know? The council
I'm
of
saying,
State-
I am saying that. I am saying that there's a prima facie.
Who told
They
you?
establish it. Leave that one.
How do you know those who voted
I am
for
saying
and
that.
against? One, that's my
Did
first-
we
How
ask
do
you?
you know? Who
Zato, did I mention anybody who voted this and voted against? I don't know.
Is that numbers?
I said number. I gave you numbers. So what's your problem?
So then why did you get the numbers?
How do you get the numbers?
Why is
I'm
it
saying
not
that
published?
we know the numbers.
How do you?
I know.
Dr. Zato, carry on.
That's my
Carry on,
point. You see,
carry on.
let's follow the logic here. The committee is in camera, so we do it. But the camera committee for them were like, oh, we know how they voted. And actually, so detailed as it is, only the former chief justice who voted against. The rest voted for. Okay, if it's in camera,
Is that your thinking?
Were you in the,
Is that your thinking?
Were you
that
in-
you are sitting?
Were you in the committee? How do you know how they voted? You see,
You know-
it is being selective here. We are saying that, good, Akufo-Addo, say whatever you want about him. He released the reasons for what his prima facie case. It's public.
What reason? There
He
was
did
no
not- he
reason.
released it. No, he
What
released
is?
it.
What was?
The
Was
response- he responded. No,
there
he
was a
released-
response to him from the council of state, not the reasons.
So you think this is a selective?
No, it
application
wasn't.
of the
You
law?
see, again, I'm making a point here too.
No,
One,
it's the premier. The cause of them that established the premier facie case.
The council
So
of
they
State.
wrote what they
What
did.
they saw.
Their
Their
position.
No,
reasons.
they were
He
only
really-
giving
he
the reasons
put-
why
he
you
put
should
it in.
dismiss it
Yes,
and all that.
yes,
But
but that
the
is what we are
prima
talking about.
facie
The
was
question
not
is that- so
established.
he, in Akufo-Addo's case, we know, we can read it. Why, how he got to know. So we know how Akufo-Addo got to know. We don't know how John Mahama got to yes. You see the difference? We in the removal of the chief justice, Akufo-Addo told us, look, this is your petition. I see your petition, and I raise you a no.
Right.
In this case, the president said, I see your petition, but I won't tell you how I got to yes. Vague.
No, it's not fake.
But
No, it's not fake.
selectively, we are told how the
Dr. Zato, then you are not following. It's not true. That's not the case.
That's why.
No, that is not true.
why we
The
should
Council
know
of State
how
was
the
behaving.
Council of State
The Council
arrived
of
at
State
the
was behaving
establishment
like
of the prima
a
facie.
conclave. We just saw a conclave. The Council of State, but we've come out to put it together. We've come out of the conclave. Habakkuk's purple, and in this Habakkuk's purple, 30 voted for 34 again. How did you know?
I am telling you
Who gave
that.
you the figures?
I am saying that.
Now we're never saying that
I need to hear
there's discretion here. No. You see, how did you know? Did you back the room?
Back
Did you
room.
put cameras in
I'm
the
saying
council?
the thing is
how do
public.
you know how they voted? The NBC knows.
Can I give you? No, let me give you that. Let me give you the information.
There's
30 seconds,
discretion.
30 seconds.
Discretion can be held. I'm not saying that the president should follow the law, but I'm saying that you can at least copy Akufo-Addo. Let's see how they go to yes. Then this committee is sitting down here. It's a charade. If not, when the committee finishes,
How can you describe it as a charade? Dr. Sato, how can you call this in fact? Charade.
So when it comes to what you think that may not help your case, it's a conclave. Let's guide the conclave. But when it comes to the thing that you think will support your case, let's release it. So in detail. And I'm saying that this is the abuse of the process. I'm not saying the legal process. It's the political process. You are using executive power to abuse the process.
Elvis, 1 minute. Wrap up on this matter.
This is where the discretion issues come in. And that is why we need to fix it.
Yeah.
In the EC Charles Osei case, Charles Osei asked for the petition. The response was that there's nothing in the
Zato
Constitution
group
should
said
be
they
given.
shouldn't get it. Today they are refining
Do you
it.
understand it? They say you shouldn't. There's no. The Constitution says it should be given to you.
Yeah.
It says on the principle of fair justice. In the current case, okay, the same principle of fair justice. Mama says, "Oh, ask for me, I'll give you the petition."
Yeah.
But in the same ground of principle of fair justice, now let me know how you arrive at the.
Exactly.
Akufo-Addo says, "Oh, me, I'll give it to you." He gave it out.
Yeah.
But Mama, as we speak, has not given it out.
given it out.
So you see the way two people
application of the
application of the discretion
Yeah.
in this thing.
Yeah. So
Then
when
what-
it suits the devil, he quotes the
The
Bible.
Constitution says the Constitution says the president may suspend the chief justice. May is a discretion. So whether you will decide whether you want to suspend the
to or
CJ
you
or
don't.
not, because it says may. That's what it uses. We are told
Elvis, and I'm
that
saying
by
they
May,
cannot.
the May it is discretionary. But the president chose that I will suspend. So let chief justice give me your advice on the suspension. If the president decides not to suspend, he may not ask the chief justice for that advice, the council of state for that advice, because he has not decided to suspend. But it's because he has decided to suspend, he sought the chief
Advice of the council
of state, and then he suspended. That is discretion. That's what I'm saying. That this argument we can go back and forth, but tomorrow will not finish because I just gave you the Akufo-Addo and the John Mahama, how they exercise discretion, even in the case of the petition itself and the Premier Fasci case. They all took different positions on this thing. Right. So we can be arguing over this discretion or not. It is about the individual in charge. You can decide to
yes, you see,
anyhow.
Elvis, here we must be very clear about it. The Article 146 that we are talking of, clause 10. It's not capricious in the way he exercised the discretion. The law is very clear. The way they craft it. You see, they said in accordance with the advice of the council.
That is when
you see, that's what I'm saying.
To suspend.
But the Supreme Court has ruled in Ghana that the president is not bound by the decision of the Council of State.
No,
it's not in Ghana. Didn't we have that ruling?
Now,
so even the president is not bound. Even the Supreme Court gives advice.
This one is not capricious.
The Council of State gives advice.
It's not
the president is not bound by it.
Then
Where
let's
did you
come
get your
back.
30 number from?
Allow Dr.
You see, and then when we come to the issue of
we have a few more seconds to go.
the Prima Facie issue, Nana Akufo-Addo, when the Council of State came out with their report, the report they were given to Nana Akufo-Addo, which became public, was not the report of the Prima Facie. It was their advice to him to dismiss. And I'm saying that the processes and what they used to get their prima facie, which they say they didn't find any case against a lady, was that the report to Nana Akufo-Addo. This one is an issue. And I'm saying that, look, when we are talking about this voting, my venerable National Communication Director, who is now the CEO of Gold Board, which the MPP fear a lot, Honorable Sami Jemfi, was on your sister platform, and gave us the rundown of the reports, how the Council of State was reporting on this thing.
On this particular
matter. Yes, and then that's why we got to know about the 30
How did he
voting. Is it our communication director?
Who gave it to you?
Why are you
It was
talking
in
about?
camera. Who gave it to you?
It wasn't in camera.
Who gave it to
Did
you?
you say that? Did you say that? Listen. Let me land here.
Communication officer of the party gets it,
Listen to
and
me.
the minister in charge of government communications is unable to give it to us.
No, listen to me attentively. The Council of State sitting and how they establish it. There's no part of the constitution say they should sit in camera. Is there? Tell me, show me which article says the
it's
council
not
of
there. For
state.
the
So
council of
Zato,
state, no.
so that one they don't bring
It's
it
the
here.
committee.
You are talking of the committee, but the committee
But it's not
is
the
now the
committee
5-man
like that
committee.
we are asking
We are
for.
talking. So
We are
I'm saying
asking
that.
for the establishment
So
of the prima
have
facie
you?
and what
And
went
they
into
have
it.
done, and they're saying that there is no law which says that they should come publish the prima facie. We can't act lawlessness. That's what they want us to act.
there is
So
no
I'm
law.
saying that we're not going to act
There is
lawlessness.
no law
Against, yeah. I mean, we can go on and on about this. But gentlemen, thank you so much. Dr. Rashid Computer, Dr. Zato, Elvis Zato. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This has been the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily. Thank you for staying with us. But do stay, don't go away. There's a lot more on the show.